being a good steward of what you already have, so God can eventually open up the windows of heaven and pour on you a blessing that you have room enough to that you don't have room enough to receive.
Yeah.
But you have to be a good steward of what you have already. So it's like when we want more money, but we can't manage the money that we have now.
Yeah.
You know, we want a bigger house, but we're not appreciative for the house that we have now. So it's ultimately ingratitude, you know, and God doesn't like ingratitude. So when we look at that and understand that he blessed you with what he blessed you with, and somebody don't have what you have, so the situation could be worse. It's important that we take what we have and we cherish it and we nourish it as if it was ultimately what we have. And then what happens is God looks at that and says, okay, I understand that he was good with that. She was good with that. Right. She was content with that. She treated that well. Now let me level up. You understand what I'm saying? Now let me bless her with something more.
Good people, what's up? What's good? We are back for another edition of the 3 Milli Podcast. Blessed be your host, Caleb Smith. Today we have a very special guest. You've seen him on the platform before, Millennial Masterclass series. This man is a legend. He does so much work in the community throughout the world. Brother King Cam, what's good with you, man?
What's going on, bro?
Nothing much.
I'm happy to be here, bro.
Same. Humble, bro. Humble. You've been active, bro. You've been with Martin Arbery, with the family, with the case. You've been traveling, doing the work at the mosque throughout the city, man.
Yes,
so
sir.
First off, man, I just want to say that we appreciate you, man, for all the work that you've been doing, man. So thank you for that.
Man, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
You know, we got to keep the torch lit
Yeah.
from, you know, what our ancestors have done prior to us, before us.
That's right.
So, you know, it's important to continue their legacy.
Yeah, I love that. Brother Cam, you were also an activist, but on top of that, the king of content, man. You always posting dope content, giving game to the people, all that good stuff. Right now, we are currently in a space where everybody wants to make content. So what is like a good first step for somebody who's trying to get in this content game right now?
Well, first is you have to know your why. Right? You have to understand and know your why, and then identify your purpose. You know, identifying that purpose or your gift is what's going to allow you to create that dope content. You know, so identifying the why is important because people have to know, you know, what you're in it for. You know, what's the end game? Because a lot of times, especially entrepreneurs, they get into it for money. And money is only a byproduct of the impact that you have on the masses of the people.
Wow.
So Dr. Brother Ben X always teaches in digital real estate, impact over income.
That's it.
Impact over income.
Yeah.
So all of the content is driven by how I'm trying to impact the people.
Yeah.
Why am I creating the content? Am I creating the content because I want a lot of views? Am I creating the content because I'm trying to get a lot of likes? Or am I creating the content, why? Because I'm trying to give a solution to the people. I'm trying to become impactful. I want to solve some type of problem. Now, okay, boom. Now, how do I solve the problem? How do I do that operating in my purpose and my gift? And then that's how you're able to create that content. So once you identify those two things, then you'll be able to make that dope content.
Jeez. Hey, that's free game, y'all.
Yeah.
Digital real estate. That's something that Brother Ben, he's been talking about for a while.
Yes,
You've been
sir.
talking about that for a while, and now, you know, we got metaverse where it's actual digital real estate. But
real life, like real life, virtual reality life.
yes, man. Digital real estate. Y'all been talking about that. What exactly is that for people who might not even know what that is right now?
Well, prior to the metaverse, right? Prior to the metaverse, digital real estate was literally the digital aspect of what physical real estate is. You know what I'm saying? So the concept was the exact same thing. It was just on the digital side. So the same way you would take a $250,000 home as a property, right? And you would possibly do rehab and repair to it, right? And then you would either rent it out to people, you know, or you would flip it for more than what you put into it, right? For a particular profit. Well, the same exact thing is the concept with digital real estate, but it's no upfront cost. So you have the option to get on the platforms of social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, right? And, you know, that's essentially land. That's essentially property.
That's real.
But then the homes, the property, the other piece of property, which would be equivalent to that house, are videos, are content.
Wow.
So now you have the Facebook page, your Facebook like page, or your Instagram business page, and that's like a blank piece of land. Now you want to put some property on that land, right? Yeah. Or you want to go out in the metaverse now and purchase a property. Well, now you don't have to necessarily, you wouldn't necessarily have to do that digitally, because you can create the content now, which becomes income producing. So the same way that physical property becomes income producing, the same thing happens when your page becomes monetized. That becomes income producing.
That's deep.
And the thing about it is, you don't have to pay no upfront money. And people watch the videos for free.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's almost like having motivated buyers. It's like having motivated buyers, but at the same time, they're not buying anything. They just want the good, impactful content.
Man.
So the concept is pretty much the same. It just allows you to be able to build capital, because now once you become monetized, Facebook, YouTube, you know, Instagram are paying out creators for that content. It allows you to build up that capital, so eventually you can take the same model and get into physical real estate. And now with the metaverse, doing the exact same thing by actually using Bitcoin or Ethereum or you know what I'm saying, cryptocurrency, and then purchasing actual digital real estate now in the metaverse. So you could go more virtual reality, more digital real estate, or you could take that capital that you make off the content and buy physical real estate, or you could do all. You could be all encompassing. So, you know, but that's really the concept of it. And then, you know, as you build up the platform and create more brand awareness, and you driving more traffic to your page, now essentially you can rent out space on your page. So the same as if you would purchase a physical property, a commercial property, and then market, to get people in to do events or get people in to rent out your space, you do that digitally.
Wow.
You have your page now that you have went out, marketed, garnered attention for, and now people can come and say, I want to rent out space for $150 to be on your page permanently for ad, right? So it's the exact same concept. Yes, sir. It's the exact same concept. So you could do so many different things. The fix and flip, where you build up a page.
That's true.
And then you can sell it. People selling Facebook pages. People selling Instagram pages. They build them up, they sell them. They build them up, they sell them. You know, so it's the same thing. Fix and flip. So, you know, that's digital real estate.
That's beautiful, man. Free customers. You just spoke about that. That's a bar on your page. Country Wayne, I see you posting about him. He was dropping gems about that same thing. Break that down of how, man, you can get started on social media. You don't have to pay for anything. But then you could be on a trip in like Africa somewhere making $150,000 off of a video that you posted a month ago. So if you can you just break that whole concept down?
Absolutely. You know, again, it's about impact and value first, always giving. So it's something that Brother Dr. Ben talks about with a method that he's called the GEA method, which is give, engage, attract, and ask, right?
Like that. Yeah.
So, but we always lead in with value. So old school, sometimes like in hip hop, right, in music, what you want to do when you promoting your mixtape or promoting your album and things like that, and you hit the road, when you get into a city, you trying to give away as many mixtapes as possible, right? You trying to give away as many merchandise, as many T-shirts as possible, because you're trying to get the people aware of what's going on. So if you got a show in that city, you want people to know what's happening. You know what I'm saying? You want people to know you in the city and to pull up. But the way you do that is not by charging people to come and buy your T-shirts. They like, nah, we good. But if you give it to them for free, now it's a whole nother deal.
Sample.
Right. You giving them a sample. So it's just like if you go into Sam's Club or Costco, you know, before they get you into buy the food, before you buy a whole meal, they got the samples. Same thing in the mall. They got the samples. You know, our Asian brothers, they like, hey, you want to try this? You know what I'm saying? They want to try this. They hit you with the sample, and then you be like, oh man, that's good. Let me get some more. So it's the same exact thing on social media when it comes to building up that impactful content and building your community. Is you have to give first. So you have to come in with a mindset of, okay, what solution can I fill with my knowledge in a particular space or a particular niche? right? So you have to come in educating or edutaining. So you can come in strictly as an educator, or you can do a little bit of both, which is edutainment,
That's right,
education, and entertainment.
yeah,
Or you have some people that just strictly do entertainment, right?
Yeah.
So, but those are the areas where you want to come in, and once you understand that, right, the angle that you want to take, and then you apply your why and understand your gift and purpose, then you can just hit it full throttle, and then after that, it's just about being consistent. You know, so the consistency is key, because all large YouTubers, Instagrammers, people will tell you that before they got large, they was consistent, and they still consistent to this day.
That's right.
But consistency is what allowed them to gain that momentum.
That's right.
You know, people start seeing you put out something and it's good and they like it. Well, they won't come back for more.
That's right.
Well, when they come back for more and then you're not showing up, how you think you're going to be able to build anything and you keep allowing the momentum to die? Like you'll get up and get going and then the momentum will die.
That's right.
You get up and get going, then the momentum will die.
That's right.
And then you wonder why you're not able to grow on social media. It's because you're not being consistent. So CJ So Cool talked about in an interview he did with Say Cheese how he was doing 10 videos a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, now they were short videos, but they was 10 videos a day,
Still
reaction
10.
videos, right? Putting them out there. You know, Jake Paul talked about in an interview where he was saying that he put out 800 videos in 1 year. You know what I mean? Just banging out videos. So now, if you only posting once a week or once a day, like, how you think you're gonna be able to build up any momentum to go ahead and be able to build up a community that will now be invested in the type of content? Because what Country Wayne was talking about was him being consistent in his content to where he went viral, which allowed him to blow up. He has an audience now, so now his audience loves his content. He's consistently putting out the content. He's creative. He's impacting people. He's making people laugh. He has a message in his content. So now people come and they want to feed on his content. They want to tap in with him, and it allows him to be able to do what he does and make the money that he does off of the content because he's monetized on his platforms and things like that. So, but he was grinding. Consistent, you know, he talk about 3 or 4 skits a day, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, putting in that type of time, and that's what allows you to be able to reap the benefits of, monetization and content creation.
I love this, man. Great conversation already. Being consistent, man, is something that, creatives struggle with, because some folks, they'll say, "Oh, Brother Cam, I only got 20 subscribers right now, but I've been posting." But how do we stay encouraged too, and also a consistent? Throughout this whole entire process of starting from 0 followers, building up all the way through.
Man, what you have to think about is the people that are watching now. So you mentioned the fact that people say they have only 20 subscribers, right? Well, those 20 people think whatever it is that you saying is impactful for them to subscribe to the channel. So you got to think about them. Yeah. I think sometimes we get caught into, wanting to impact hundreds of millions of people and all that stuff. And that's the end goal. Yeah. But handle the 20 first. See, God is not going to put on you more than you can handle. And right now, God only gave you 20. So deal with the 20 that God gave you. Handle that well. Nurture that. Engage with them. You understand what I'm saying? Be consistent with 20. So then God will bless you with 40. He'll bless you with 80. That's right. He'll bless you with 200. Yeah. But you got to be consistent with the 20. You can't show up for 20 people. How you think you're going to show up for 200 people? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you have to be ready to consistently work with those who are there and understand that they're there for whatever it is that you're providing them. So if you don't show up, it might not be no sweat off your back, but those people were counting on that. Those people were counting on that entrepreneur tip of the day that you needed to drop.
And they needed that.
They needed that, right? Because they following the channel, they following the page, trying to get game, and they working on their business. They needed to understand how you was able to come out of that domestic violence situation, how you was able to get through, drug addiction or, abuse or whatever you talk about on your platform. It's people that haven't been able to overcome it. It's people that don't have a successful 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure business. It's people that don't have a successful podcast that come to your page and your platform to understand how you was able to overcome that. Wow. Yeah. And if you don't show up to deliver, you may not be letting yourself down, but you letting the people that's watching you down. Man. So now because business is about relationships, and this whole social media, especially with influencers, is about cultivating your audience and building a relationship, building a rapport, building trust with them. Then if you break the trust with them, you're not going to be able to grow. You're not going to be able to do what it is you have envisioned, because it starts small. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, start small and grow large. And that's how everything starts, small and grow large. So being consistent, you got to think about the people that you're impacting. If you don't show up, then you're not only impacting yourself in the long run with your business and your brand, but you impacting the individual that's looking forward to that content. So for me, I always show up because it's people that's looking forward to the knowledge. It's people that's looking forward to, you know, the news and the information and the entrepreneurship. People looking forward to that. So I have to show up. If I don't feel like it, I got to do it for them. Don't do it for me. Take yourself out of it.
That's right.
Do it for them.
That's right. I love that, man. Beautiful message. And that connects to this next question. On your page, you dropped a bar, heavy bar, where you said, be a good steward of what you already have. Break that down for us if you can.
Yes, sir. Just like I was just talking about with the subscribers, right?
Yeah.
Being a good steward of what you already have, so God can eventually open up the windows of heaven and pour on you a blessing that you have room enough to that you don't have room enough to receive.
Yeah.
But you have to be a good steward of what you have already. So it's like when we want more money, but we can't manage the money that we have now. Yeah. You know, we want a bigger house, but we're not appreciative for the house that we have now. So it's ultimately ingratitude, you know, and God doesn't like ingratitude. So when we look at that and understand that he blessed you with what he blessed you with, and somebody don't have what you have, so the situation could be worse. It's important that we take what we have and we cherish it and we nourish it as if it was ultimately what we have. And then what happens is God looks at that and says, okay, I understand that he was good with that. She was good with that. Right. She was content with that. She treated that well. Now let me level up. You understand what I'm saying? Now let me bless him, her with something more. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's not only the person, but it's also the character, right? In the heart. Because the character of a person will say that this thing is just as good as the big thing. The small thing is just as good as the big thing. That's the right. 20 people are just as valuable as the 200 people. See, so it's not about the numbers, but that's within the character of a person. If you just doing this to be seen of men, if you doing this just for your own personal, you know, egotistical, you know, situation that you have going on, then God's not going to bless that because it's not ultimately for his representation. It's not ultimately for his glory and his praise. See, because all the glory go to him at the end of the day. So if you out to try to make it about you, then God's not going to open that up for you. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's about the character, and in those small and humble beginnings, you understand and learn lessons about character and humility and things of that nature that will allow you to ultimately be a better person. So when you get in front of 200 people, you get in front of 500 people, then you haven't lost those humble beginnings and understanding where you came from, and understanding no matter, like I said, if it's 500 people or 50 people or 2 people, you still want to deliver that same impactful message and understand that they're just as valuable as if you had a stadium packed.
You already prepared. Brother Ken, what do you love the most about somebody telling you, yo, thank you, man, for posting that? Like, what do you get from that when people constantly text, comment, say, man, thank you, like, thank you so much for this? How do you feel?
That just reaffirms why I have to show up every day. It reaffirms that what we are presenting on the platform is powerful. It's impacting people. Yeah. So that just puts a battery in my back. We got to do more. We got to impact more. We got to keep coming with what we already have and do it at a higher level because it is impacting the people. So when people reach out and tell you that, yo, you know, that I watched that video, it changed my life, or, you know, I was able to use the gem that you dropped in that interview, you know, and I was able to apply it to my business, then all of that stuff, man, that's just affirmation that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You know, and let's go full throttle. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's what I get out of it. And again, like I said, it's about showing up. and understanding that it's bigger than me.
Yeah.
It's bigger than me. So when people reaching out to you, telling you that, it's bigger than you now. So now you're not only on the hook for yourself, but you on the hook for those people that's impacting you. Because now that's letting you know people watching you.
They counting on you.
They counting on you.
That's right.
So now you got to make sure that you there and you prepared.
Yeah.
You can't just be showing up halfway. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you got to make sure that you're doing it and you're doing it right.
That's right. Yes, sir. 80-20 rule, man. You talk about that extensively on your page. I love that. Can you please break that down for us for the people who don't know what that is?
So 80-20 rule, you know, you want to be 80% of your business, your purpose, and 20% of, you know, other things.
Yeah.
So, and when I say that, it's really, really geared towards more of the personal brands. You know, because people with personal brands, lifestyle brands, they infuse their personal life with their business. So if you like a lifestyle blogger, you know, may be a foodie, you know, you may be a personal brand with a particular message, entrepreneurship, whatever the case may be, but you're infusing that because you're the face of it. You're infusing it also with your personal business or your personal life. So 80-20 would apply that majority of your content that you posting on your social media pages is going to be about that particular field that you in: entrepreneurship, lifestyle, travel, food, you know, you doing reviews, business type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's quotes, whether it's video, or whether it's pictures, you know, it's all revolving around what the umbrella idea or goal is, you know, of the platform, you know, of your page, whatever it is that you're doing. So, and then 20% of that can be you with your family, you going out to a personal event, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature.
Switching it up a little bit.
Switching it up a little bit and showing the more human side, right? That you're not always, you ain't doing business 24/7, you know what I'm saying, 25/8, you know what I mean? You do kick back. And also, depending on what the brand is too, that is necessary because, for an example, like a CJ So Cool, where his brand is about being family oriented. You know what I'm saying? So him being with his children is a part of his brand. So when he posts a picture up with the family, that's business, but it's also his family, right? So you're able to infuse it, you know, but you can't have you doing hair, for example, if you're a beautician, you do hair, and then all of a sudden you come across the page, you know, with you at a car show. Like, they don't go together. You know what I'm saying? They're not going together. So now you have a crisis and you can confuse the people. Like, okay, so what's going on? Is this a business page, really? And there's some other things that go into that too. What, you know, your bio, you know, all of that type of stuff that's necessary to properly set up your Instagram or your Facebook business page. All of those different things play a role. But the content, definitely 80% business, 20% personal.
I love that. Edutainment. I love that word. Education, entertainment, merging those. How can we merge that? Because on your page, like, you do that perfectly, of having videos, reaction videos, quotes, motivational talks, all that good stuff. So how do we merge education and entertainment as well?
Well, you know, one thing that I try to do is I try to find a lesson or try to find God in everything. You know what I mean?
That's beautiful.
So even in some of the ratchet videos, there's a message. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's
a
deep.
message. I mean, literally, like, you can listen to Boosie, and in his interviews, he say some ratchet stuff, but he has a message. He's, you know, he got quotables in there. You know, he got a message in there. So, you know, sometimes, you know, some people could get caught up in the, you know, trying to be so self-righteous, and, you know, we don't want the cussing, and we don't want, but in reality, that's just part of, you know what I'm saying? That's part of the culture, right? That's part of today's society. That's part of, you know, what you hear in everyday black households, what you hear in everyday households in general, right? You know what I'm saying? Certain type of language. So in order for you to be effective with the people, you got to speak the language of the people.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So if you're not willing to speak that language, and you necessarily don't have to talk like that, but you can let Boosie talk for you. Certain things you want to say that you're not going to say, but Boosie will say it.
That's real.
You know what I mean? Then that's an effective way of communication, because you got people that resonate with what Boosie talking about. You know what I mean? Like, again, with Country Wayne, and infusing a message in his comedy. You got to understand the power of comedy, and we done had some powerful comedians. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Baba Dick Gregory and Paul Mooney.
Yeah, those are
you
legends.
know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? So you Richard Pryor's, you know, and then the living legends, Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams. You know what I'm saying? Like, so those people who had put messages in their entertainment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that right there, when you able to resonate with people through seeing things through a lens of comedy and entertainment, and having people laugh about issues that are real, then it opens up the mind to accept the information. Some people don't want a straightforward lecture.
Medicine in
you know
the candy, right?
Right,
So,
exactly. So you got to put medicine in the dog food, right? So you got to do that. You got to mix it in there.
Yeah.
So, and that's how, you know, people are able to receive it. People receive messages differently.
Yeah.
So if you're able to accomplish that, then that's an effective communication tool, because everybody doesn't communicate the same way. So you can't give them the same message in the same form and think everybody's going to receive it the same way. So some people will receive it through a funny skit. Some people will receive it through a straight lecture. Some people will receive it through a song. This is why music is so important.
That's right.
Bob Marley put his message in his music. And music is a universal language that touches all people. So when you could put message in music, positive message in music, through those rhythms and through those different frequencies, high frequencies, then you're able to touch the minds of people that ultimately can influence their decisions. Because if we look at it now in hip hop, low frequency music now still touches the minds of the people that influences their decisions.
That's right.
They just making bad decisions
That's right.
because of the vibration and the frequency of the music is so low.
That's right.
So you just have to reverse engineer that bad boy, and you'll be able to now create a different culture and create a different society. And like I said, you're able to do that with multiple different things. So I just try to look at, you know, content with a message that's right on brand with mine, and put it out there for people to be able to receive it, you know, because again, people receive in different ways, but the ultimate goal is for you to become, on my page, is for you to become a better person. It's for you to be able to build your brand on social media with your business. So any way that we can give that information out,
love that,
then that's how we want to do it.
That's beautiful, man. Speaking on music right now, Young Dolph, somebody who me and Sid, we used to see all the time throughout our neighborhoods and stuff. And he was like a regular dude, chill person, man. So, like, how do you feel about all these deaths in hip hop? And then, two, you said something powerful, reverse engineering. How do we change our music, our narratives, all that stuff?
Man, well, you know, a lot of artists, I ain't gonna say all artists, but a lot of artists, you know, in their music, they talking about their life. Right? Things that they've seen, things that they've done, you know, in the past. And they really just telling their story, right? Boosie talked about that on the Breakfast Club. I think it was Breakfast Club. And he was basically saying, man, listen, I rap, but I rap about what happened to me, what I've been through, what I've seen, right? I wasn't doing it, right, exactly. I wasn't doing it to be malicious and try to lead people to a wrong way of living. I was just telling my story. That's really what most artists are doing. They're telling their story, but inadvertently, now you have young people who don't have that same story, but they see that you were successful at telling that story, so they want to imitate that.
That's right.
So what I think needs to be what needs to be done is we have to consistently put out positive images of people becoming successful and not having to tell such a, you know, a story, you know what I'm saying, of doing things that are unfavorable. Now, understanding our condition in America, you know, in our neighborhoods have been engineered. Have been engineered to facilitate the savagery. You know what I'm saying? The drugs, the murder, the guns, the gangs. All of that's been facilitated on purpose, right? To create that. So what happens is now we have to go in, particularly men have to go in and reverse engineer what's been going on by putting out a positive image and really having conversations like this that's just necessary to have, because I think oftentimes a lot of the youth that's in gangs, that are in, just in the streets in general, are looking for a certain type of love, looking for attention, right? And the only way that they get it is from their brothers in the gangs, right? Because they are on the same path. So the only way that they get that same attention is from them. The only way they're getting kudos is from doing something that they know they shouldn't be doing, stealing, robbing, shooting, whatever the case may be. But that's how they are receiving the accolade. In school, in regular school, they didn't receive no accolade. Nobody paid them no attention, right? So, and that's why it's important that we get out and develop our own schools. Because each child cannot be handled on a standard curriculum. This is how we're going to treat each child that passes through here. It don't work like that. Because everybody's brain doesn't work the same. Everybody doesn't learn the same.
That's true.
And, there's so many different nuances in the human being that have to be mined out by the teacher. So if the teacher's not willing to do that and they just trying to go by a specific guideline, then you're going to have students that ultimately end up being, hard to work with or acting out. And now you start, diagnosing them and all this other stuff. So anyway, we're going down that road, but it all ties in to ultimately being able to change the condition. So when you see violence in the community, it's tied directly to the economics. So because there are such impoverished communities, there's going to be violence, because when people don't have enough, then survival then kicks in. Survival mode kicks in. And now you have to do whatever you have to do to survive. So that's taking from somebody else that have it. That's, selling drugs because you can make more money and pay the bills and be able to take care of your family than working at McDonald's. You know what I mean? Then that's what you have to do, because the first law of preservation is self-preservation.
That's a bar. Yeah.
So if you're not able to preserve yourself, the first law is to preserve yourself. And when that's threatened, then you have to go into survival mode. So we have to go in and have a concentrated effort through podcasts, through media, through music, to constantly put out a positive message. And it's not something that you can go into the community, do for a day, and then leave. This has to be something that's happening on a frequent basis.
Got to be consistent, right?
Got to be consistent,
That's
right?
it. Yeah.
It has to be frequent. You can't just come in and do an event and then bounce. You got to be consistent in that community. So you can have outsiders that may have a global influence or a national influence come in, but then those locally have to be doing this on a regular basis. Because you got to understand, our people have been in this condition for over 400 years. And the circumstances that exist there need to be constantly worked on. It's like a heel. It's like a wound that you can't just put medicine on it one time. Like when you fall and scrape your knee up, you don't put bacitracin on it or Neosporin on one time. Right. You got to clean it up with hydrogen peroxide. You got to make sure that you hit it once you stop the bleeding and all that. Then every day, every day you got to hit it with the Neosporin every day until it starts to heal itself.
That's right.
It's not something that you just slap on one day, oh, I'm good. It's not going to heal that way. So it's the same way in our community. We got to constantly be there. So we have to have, mentorship programs. We have to have, we do, a lot of the brothers do a good job through sports with basketball, football, track, and things like that. But we just need to add on to that. You know what I mean? It has to be a concentrated effort that, there's mentorship programs, and we making sure that we, I don't know if it's adopting a child or a big brother program. Like all of those different things need to come into play. And, being able to just show the youth that it's a different way, different types of programs, whether it's apprenticeship program, teaching them how to do podcasts and things like that, because a lot of the things that allow you to be successful or not was taught in school.
That's a bar.
They're not teaching you that in school. They don't teach you how to start your own podcast in school. They don't necessarily teach you on the general educational level about sound and about studio and about film, right? You don't learn about that stuff until you get into college.
And it's too late.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when they tell you about it, they pass it off as an elective, not as a main subject, but as an elective. They say, okay, well, you could do that, but this is what you need to do in order for you to be able to be successful. So they tell you to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, but then on the back end, they don't tell you how much it's costing in order to go to medical school, or how much it's costing to go to law school, to a preeminent law school, in order for you to be able to get the accolades and things like that, in order for you to be able to do what you have to do. So it's so many areas that have to be ironed out.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately, in the community, locally, on the grassroots level, it's about, tapping in on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? Because you hear a lot about the young Dolphs and the Nips that's, doing good work in the community, and then there's somebody who from the community takes them out.
It's always a hater, yeah.
That's a conversation that has to be had. And then two, there has to be an understanding of the environment that you in.
It's true.
While you giving back, while you supporting the neighborhood and doing all that stuff, but you have to still understand you in an environment that's dangerous.
Yeah,
you're still in a
true.
dangerous environment.
That's true.
So you can't allow your guard down. And I think that was one of the mistakes that a Nipsey Hussle, that a Young Dolph did. They let their guard down because they was in their own city.
Yeah.
That means that you let your guard down. No.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can still give back. You can still build the programs. You can do all of that kind of stuff, but you still also have to be wise and have to move with a certain certain mindset, because of the things that you have other people don't have. People want to try to take that from you. So you have to make sure that you're moving properly as well.
Yes, sir, man. Nation of Islam, man. Speaking on that, I love how y'all move. Since being a kid, I used to see y'all on Old National growing up, talking to the people, Final Call, newspapers, everything, man. What do you love, man, the most about giving back, man, to the community? And I mean, especially like when all the kids see you guys in the uniforms, talking to the people, what do you love, man, about that whole process?
Man, the biggest thing that I love is that, they're receiving a positive message, and it shows you that it can be done.
That's right.
A lot of people don't think that it can be done. They come up with a bunch of excuses on why they don't believe that it is possible. But at the same time, you see through the lens of what the Nation of Islam has been able to do that, it is done. So the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that you don't have to condemn a dirty glass. Just put a clean glass next to it.
Yeah, that's right.
So you don't have to condemn the drug dealers. You don't have to condemn, anybody that's doing some unrighteous behavior, because none of us fell out of heaven. All of us coming up out of hell.
That's a bar.
So those of us that are trying to strive to clean ourselves up, you don't condemn that brother for what they doing, but you can show an example to the youth of a clean glass.
That's right.
That was exactly what that brother's doing and may be successful at it, or whatever the case may be. Being a clean glass also can be successful as well.
Lead by example.
You know what I'm saying? So it's about leading by example. And, the minister talks about, when he teaches us that we are from the earth, the human body is from the earth.
That's right.
And because it's from the earth, it has the same attributes of the earth. So the same way that the earth has its own atmosphere, the human being has his own atmosphere as well.
That's right.
So when you come into a room and you carry a certain spirit, a certain vibe, a certain energy, then you ultimately have your own atmosphere. And when you come into a particular space, you can change the atmosphere around you.
That's beautiful.
So leading by example allows you now to affect other people that are constantly around you. Why? Because number one, opposites attract. So if you got a clean glass, then the dirty glass is automatically attracted to the clean glass. So opposites are going to attract. So if I come in and I'm suited and booted, and the other person in street clothes, they automatically, okay, dang, what's going on now? You know what I'm saying? Somebody, they fresh. Let me see what's happening. So it's an official event going on. So now that's the attraction. So now once you have the attraction, then you're able to go in and give the knowledge, give the game, give the wisdom and things like that. So, just always wanting to see my people do better, always wanting myself to do better. The Nation of Islam and the example that was set before us by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, was enough for me. And that's what inspired me to want to change and want to try to clean up my situation. So, and that's what affected me. And I see the examples of it with the Nation of Islam. And it shows you that it can be done. Now, just imagine if we put more behind it, if we pushed it out there more, made it more known, then you can see how many more people it could be affected, that it could affect. Because quiet is kept. It's a whole bunch of people out here that the Nation of Islam has saved.
It's a fact.
You see what I'm saying? Like people don't. It's not as publicized, but you think about it. It stopped a lot of gang wars.
That's right.
It stopped a lot of beefs.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Then a lot of people's lives were saved.
That's
a lot of people could have been dead.
Security.
Right.
Yeah.
Security. All
That's
of that.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the whole nine. Like changed the life. People talk about how they could have been in jail. They could have been in prison. They could have died. They could have been a statistic. But if it wasn't for what they saw from the Nation of Islam, the example, and what they heard the minister saying, they would have been in a bad situation.
That's right.
So, you know, for me, if you find if it's something that's working, why not utilize it? We know in our community, paying police officers more is not going to bring down crime. That's a known fact.
Yeah.
Because they've done it already. They've done it in multiple states. They've done it, you know, nationally
It's
or
a
whatever.
characteristic. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they see, okay, well, no matter how much you pay law enforcement in any city or state, it's not going to inevitably bring down the crime. Because you increase police presence at schools, it's not going to stop.
Yeah, we still have school shootings.
We still got school shootings, right?
Yeah.
So the definition of insanity is continue to do the same thing and getting the same result.
Yeah.
So right now the leadership looks insane because you're constantly doing the same thing, looking for a different result.
Yeah.
When ultimately you're getting the same result. So now you have to do something different. And the Nation of Islam has results that shows that they can actually affect change in the community, actually lower the crime.
Yes, sir. That's right, man. Y'all been doing the work. I love seeing it. And a major component as well is discipline. You have so much discipline, the nation as a whole. How do you stay disciplined? And then, too, for young black men who's watching, how do we stay on course, on path as well?
Man, it's so many different things, man. First is watching the example of the minister and studying him.
Yeah.
Man, praying. And just really being committed to whatever it is that you say that you're going to do. So, you know, one thing in the nation that we are taught is that, you know, your word is bond.
Yes, sir.
And bond is life. And I give my life before my word shall fail.
Yes, sir.
So if you think about it in that way, then you always, you know, all a man has is his word. He don't have nothing else. He don't have no money. He don't have no car. But he got his word.
Yeah.
If he say he going to do something, then he has to do it.
That's right.
And if he's not able to fulfill that obligation, then you let the people know in a timely manner. You just don't go ghost on people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you let people know what's happening if you're not able to fulfill what it is that you originally committed to.
You're right.
But more often than not, you want to make sure you come through with those obligations. So, you know, at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. I'm striving. You know what I'm saying?
You're still human.
Exactly. We still human at the end of the day. Right now, we on a 3-day national fast, which started today.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's no food.
Yeah. Stay strong.
There's no food. You feel me? So it's just water, coffee, and tea until Sunday.
Wow.
You feel me? So, you know what I mean? So, you know, that helps because when you can suppress your natural instinct, inclination to eat, and inclination to wanna, wanna feed yourself, then, you know, being able to put down drugs, put down cigarettes, it's about the mindset.
Yeah,
it's about the mindset. So naturally, when you want to eat, if you can change that thought, you can change that mindset and divert that energy to something else. Yeah. Then ultimately, physically, anything else, the discipline to be able to be there.
Train your mind, man. Seeing you now, Dr. Brother Ben X, y'all always, man, talk about ownership through content creation, man. If you can, you know, speak on that now, how like content creators, you can create your own content, you can own your content, and then that can be like your full-time career now.
Absolutely. Like I said, impact over income. Yeah. So, you know, first being impactful, cultivating and building up that community through the content that you put out. Ultimately, you'll be able to get monetized. Ultimately, you'll be able to start making money online, and then understanding that, that's original content. So ownership is wealth. You know, when you're able to own your masters, that's why you hear about a bunch of hip-hop artists now either own their masters or older artists getting their masters back.
That's right.
Right? Because ownership is wealth. So looking at that and understanding that, you want, as an up-and-coming content creator or entrepreneur, you want to make sure that you have ownership over everything that you do. All of your intellectual property, same way you want to have ownership over your physical property, because the minister said that debt is slavery. So if you owe somebody and it ain't yours, then ultimately you are in servitude to them until you are in ownership of whatever it is that you have.
That's right.
So that's very important. So ownership is wealth, and having the ability to own your content and everything like that. Now what you do is copyright it. You copyright the name, you copyright the content, and now people who use your content have to pay you. Because what you see now with a Kevin Samuels, with a Vlad TV, anytime you
try to make like reactions and things like
anytime,
that.
but anytime you posting any of their videos, you're going to get a strike on social media and let them know that they let you know that this content is copywritten and that the person that owns it is going to be receiving
that's digital real estate for real.
Right, majority of the daggone compensation from this.
That's right. That's right.
So, and that's what they did. They understand that. Vlad understands that. Kevin Samuels understands that.
Yeah.
So it's about you seeing that and then duplicating what they've already done.
That's it, man. Earlier, man, you spoke about being consistent. Also, how do we stay motivated? Because like what you said, man, it could be days to where you just might not feel like filming that podcast. So, like, how do you keep going day in, day out? Because you were super consistent, motivated, all that.
Man, like I said, bro, just thinking about other people, the people that's impacted by the content that we putting out.
That's right.
Right? Because again, it's somebody that doesn't have that experience in building a podcast. It's somebody that don't have the experience in entrepreneurship or whatever it is that you're talking about. So for me personally, it's people that are looking forward to that entrepreneur information, you know, specifically with branding on social media. It's still new, even though social media been around for a while now.
It's changing so much.
It's constantly changing. You know, you went from MySpace and all of these, all of these different things on AOL chat to MySpace and Black Planet, and then ultimately into Facebook and all these different things. And now, so many businesses, majority of businesses are online. So it's people now are trying to figure out how do they blend the brick and mortar business with an e-commerce store. That's right. How do they build a business online? How do you go about promoting and marketing that? Because traditionally you think, hey, I'll just go and put my link up and people are going to buy. Well, no, that's not how that's going to work. People don't even know you. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's how you have to. Then that's how you have to think about it. So for me, with me understanding that and experiencing that and actually going through that and learning from people who have successfully did that, then me putting out that information helps an up-and-coming entrepreneur. So if I don't come through with the info, where else they gonna get it from? In a way that I'm gonna give it to them. Because you got plenty of channels that may give you some information about growing on social media, but most of them are just like watered down.
Yeah, it's very generic.
Generic information, right? But people that's going to give you some step-by-step stuff and say, hey, look, do this, and do this, and go back and apply it. Let me know what the results are. You're not going to get most of that. And I try to do that with my content. So if I don't put it out, that's an entrepreneur that's losing. When you talk about self-improvement, when you talk about putting out clips of the minister, dealing with what's going on in society, people need that wisdom, because we've been on another type of wisdom up until this point, and it hasn't worked. You see what the condition of the country's in. You see what the condition of the economy's in. You see what the condition of the school system, the pharmaceutical companies, medical insurance, all of these different things are in shambles based on the knowledge that we had before. So when the minister speaks and giving guidance on these different things on how you can become a better man, how you become a better husband, how you become a better brother, sister, wife, how you should properly eat, how you should look at these different things, why is humility important? Breaking down the exegesis of the scripture that has tripped up so many different people because of the language that the Bible is written in. You haven't really gotten to understand it. So now you carry a book, but you don't really know what it means. You got a book at home on your shelf, but it's dusty because you don't read it, because you don't know what's happening.
That's
you don't
right.
know how to properly interpret it. And properly interpret it. So when the minister is giving that in his videos and in his lectures, then people need that so they can understand. So now they can apply what the minister has given to them so they can ultimately become better individuals, because he says that self-improvement is the basis for community development. So before you can build up the
Gotta change
community
yourself.
and go out, you
Yeah.
got to fix yourself first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like we talked about, you got to be that example. So you can't run around here talking about community activism and doing all this, but your life all jacked up, and they don't see you even striving to change or making any type of small changes within your own personal life that can help them. So self-improvement is the basis for community development. That's where you want to start. And when you can start with that, then you'll be able to make a change. And on my platform, that's what we strive to do. So I look at that and say, you know, the content has to go out because there's so many people that's being affected by it.
Yes, sir, man. On your platform, another dope thing, man, seeing you have a free content boot camp, man. You could have charged the arm and a leg because you got so much valuable information. What inspires you, man, to just give back to the people so much?
Because again, you know, it's the desire to impact the people and to see people win. Because we see now what the model is. You get a few people that can get up out the hood. You know, your Nipseys, your Dolphs, you know, all of those different individuals that can make it out. Your Jay-Z's, your Beyonce, you know, people that make it out. But you got other people that's trying to figure out how to do that. And one thing about our community is that we don't have enough people teaching others the blueprint. In other communities, that's law.
Yeah, sharing it.
You have to because it ensures the legacy of the family. It ensures the legacy of the community. It ensures the well-being. Because I know I'm not gonna be here forever, so I can't hold it down forever. But if I give you the game, then I know once I'm gone, you got the knowledge. So now you can do it. And then when you gone, you done pass it down to your children and they can do it. So it ensures the legacy of the community. And in our community, we don't do that. So when a Nip is gone, if he didn't teach nobody else what he was doing, nobody gonna know what Nip was doing, be able to duplicate it. Same thing, Dolph was teaching people how to be independent musically and how to do it with your own money. But if Dolph wasn't able to give it to nobody else, give nobody else the game, then how are you gonna duplicate himself?
Right.
So in other communities, that's law. You know, that's what you have to do. You know what I mean? So, and that's what allows me to want to give so much, because it's necessary, and that's what ensures the legacy of the community, the legacy of the family, is that you're able to pass down that knowledge. So anything that I know that can help me be successful, I want to give it to you to help you be successful. Now, in business, there has to be some type of transaction. So there is so many free classes that we do all the time. But then also you have to be able to support financially as well.
That's right.
Because life is business. The minister said that business is the activity of life. So everything is a transaction. Might not be financially all the time, but everything is a transaction, whether it's a transaction of energy, transaction of, you know, knowledge, transaction of finances, but everything is a transaction of time. But everything is going down as business. So with business being the activity of life, then we always want to be thinking about it in that particular manner. So that's what really inspires me. It's not about making money, it's about impacting the people. Because if you impact enough people, then you're going to make money. You know, that's a byproduct of it.
It's inevitable.
Because of the value, right? Because of the value that you provide.
Yes, sir, man. That's a bar. Speaking on business, man, on your page, something that was really, really good. You spoke about relationships. It's so important in business. If you can, man, can you please break that down? Because I mean, sometimes, you know, people, they can think, oh, like it's all about money, but sometimes it's about who you know, relationships, nurturing, all those things as well. So if you can you speak on that? Absolutely.
I learned that majority of business is based upon the relationships that you have. You know, and when you look at it, you know, it's been a prime example. Clarence Avant, who just recently lost his wife.
That was tragic.
His you know, if you watch
Black Godfather, that was one of my favorite docs.
His whole career was put together off of relationships.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So when you look at just how everything is set up business wise, you know, it's about who you know. You know, it's about what you know, but it's a lot about who you know that can put you in different positions and put you in different rooms with individuals, because at the end of the day, I can trust a person. I I've been dealing with this person for a long time. I can trust what you say. I can trust your judgment. So if you give me a recommendation on another person, then I'm able to trust that versus a computer or a system that's going to print out some numbers.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not able to feel. I'm not able to really get that genuine character from that person. I'm not able to hear them talk. I'm not able to see the reaction or the expression in their face to be able to make a sound, discern decision on that particular person. So, a computer would just spew out information, but a person will be able to give me the intangibles, the nuances that I'm not able to get from a computer.
Yes, sir.
So when you look at that, business is built off of the relationships because of the nuances that you're able to see and you're able to make sound decisions based upon. So that's why the relationship is so important. So when you talk about building on social media, it's about your relationship with those who are tapped into your content, your supporters, right, or your followers. How is the relationship with them? Are you communicating with them? Are you engaging with them? Are you giving them everything that they need in order to be successful, right? Are you creating those conversations, or are you standoffish? It's the same way. If people walk into here and nobody speak, you like, well, wait a minute.
What's wrong with them?
Exactly. What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
It's the same thing on social media. You put out content,
Gotta
people
engage.
comment, and then you don't speak. They're going to say, well, what's wrong with him? He think he too good. She thinks she's too good. You know what I'm saying? So it's the exact same thing with other business. With other business that you have going on, retail and all that stuff. The biggest thing that they focus on is the customer experience.
That's real.
The biggest thing is the customer experience. So what do they put all of their focus on? How are we treating the customers? Are we speaking to the customers? The customer's always right, even though that's not the case.
Yeah.
But the customer's always
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Why is Chick-fil-A so successful?
Customer
because
service.
of the customer service
That's
experience.
facts. Yeah.
You can't go nowhere.
My pleasure,
and
my pleasure. Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
to get the same customer service experience that Chick-fil-A got. So Chick-fil-A could literally boost their prices up tomorrow and people not going to care. They still going to come and pay.
It's that relationship.
Why? Because it's the relationship that they build. They know they're going to get treated right.
Yeah.
They say, man, I pay $10 for a Chick-fil-A situation because why? I know the treatment going to be good. I know I ain't going to have to hear nobody lip. I know I'm not going to get poor service.
Ice cream machine
I
working.
know the ice cream machine
That's
work. I
facts.
know I'm going to get a milkshake. I'm going to get all the sauces. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
they know
real.
all of that.
Yeah.
But why? That's the relationship that they built.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying? Car salesmen. That's the relationship that they build. Real estate agents. It's the relationship that they build. You know what I'm saying? Brands. It's the relationship that they built with their customer base that you know what you getting when you go to those particular places. So everything is about relationship. And from a small business perspective, when you starting out as a personal brand, it's about the relationship. So I put a video out and I said it's about people buy the person and not the business.
That's it. Yeah.
It's because now more businesses are driven by the people, not the brand. Now before you had a lot of brands that were driving things, but when you look at the market, you see that influencer marketing is increasing. Why? Because people trust the person. So Popeyes wouldn't give Megan Thee Stallion hottie sauce if they didn't think that Megan Thee Stallion has some type of relationship or rapport with her fans that will help drive traffic to Popeyes. Why? Because Popeyes got a lot of bad press going on about their facility and the poor food and people like Red Pill and Blue Pill that just exposing everything out here. People ain't messing with Popeyes. So they said, "Bro, we got to call in the armory. We need Megan Thee Stallion, who one of the hottest people out here now, come in and give us some hottie sauce to drive us some traffic."
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So businesses understand that that's going on, that dynamic of that is happening, so they'll do that. So now, boom, you'll see they got Sweetie with McDonald's.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
The Sweetie
then you
meal.
got, right. And you got Rick Ross with Wingstop. They know Rick Ross got influence. So hey, you know what I'm saying? He endorsing the chicken. We rocking.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you starting to see this pattern of people now are invested in the people because they know Rick Ross's sound. We rocking with that.
Yeah.
They got, Megan Thee Stallion got a loyal following. We rocking with that. Sweetie, same thing. So that's what it's about. That's all relationship cultivation and building. So when we look at it from our standpoint of what we building and things like that, it's cultivating a relationship. We just want to cultivate them in a positive direction. We don't want to cultivate them in a negative direction.
That's real. Brother Cam, man, you dropped so many bars. One of my last two questions right here, man. You have a dope podcast. So many people want to get into podcasting. How do we know which topics to cover, what niche, all that good stuff? How do we get started in that field?
Oh man, I mean, the field is wide open. It's
Yeah.
just really, again, back at the beginning, we talked about knowing your why and understanding and knowing your purpose.
Yeah.
Right. When you understand you have a particular gift in a particular area, that's where you want to stay at. You don't
Yeah.
want to get outside of your gifting, because now
Right.
you in territory that you're not in, that you unfamiliar with. So that's what I would say first. You know,
Yeah.
you want to start with where your purpose is. You know what I'm saying? If that's abusive relationships, if you got an experience, you know what I'm saying, that helps as well, because that's something that you could teach on from your experience. So if that's your purpose, that's something that you've been through, that's an experience that you have, then that's where you want to be at, because that's where you're going to be most felt. That's where you're going to resonate with the people, because people are able to understand that you kind of just giving generic information. You don't really know anything about it. You just kind of reading stats that you done pulled off a line.
Right.
But when you can talk about from your own
It's coming from
experience,
the heart.
right?
Yeah.
That's why you able to, people that have that's going through that weight loss journey, right? They're able to resonate with people that have been through it, because people know what type of discipline it take. People know how it was in the beginning, how
Document
hard
the
it
journey,
was.
like what you say.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you
Yeah.
have to document the journey. People know
Yeah.
how hard it was in the beginning to get in that gym and to work out and to do all of that stuff. But the more that they did it, the easier it got. The
Yeah.
more that they stayed consistent, the easier it got. So now, if I'm a person that's on that journey, I'm attracted to that type of person, because they know how I'm feeling right now.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that you understand that when you deciding on if you want to do a podcast or, you know, whatever type of platform you want to have, what is it that you're passionate about, and what is your purpose behind doing it? So when I created my podcast, it was all about representing the culture and also speaking on issues that affected my people in my community. You know what I mean? So it was that encompassed, you know, hip hop and music, but also encompass the different issues that face our community as it pertains to education, as it pertains to civil rights, reparations, all of those different things that we are facing as a people.
Facts.
Needed to be discussed, needed to be highlighted, and needed to be talked about. So, and that's what I have a passion for.
Right.
So, you know, I don't have a passion for what, you know, something else.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I'm saying? That's not what I want. I don't want to talk about, you know, science.
You gotta be
know what I'm saying?
genuine.
Right.
Yeah.
So exactly.
Yeah.
You have to be genuine.
Yeah.
So I talk about and, you know, put out exactly what affects me
Yeah.
and what I can be genuine about, and then also bring some context too. Because if it's something that you're interested in, now you're researching it. Now you're making sure you're bringing your A game. Now you know you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing when you're delivering that information. So, you know, I would always say, you know, understanding, knowing your why. You know, why are you doing this? You know, the purpose. You know, and what's your gift? You know what I'm saying? How do you do that? Because that's very important. Because everybody's not gonna get on and be on the camera like we on the camera.
Yeah.
Because everybody don't want to be on camera.
Hey,
So,
it's not your
but
thing
you can,
sometimes.
yeah. But you can still do a podcast.
That's facts.
Because podcasts, before there was cameras, they was doing
Audio.
audio anyway.
That's
So
right.
you could always do the traditional podcast.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying? You could write a blog. You could do a video podcast and not be on camera.
That's real.
Because Vlad do that.
Yeah.
He ain't never on camera, but he
That's
got a
real.
whole video podcast.
I didn't know what he looked like
You
for
know,
like the first 5 years.
that's what
yeah,
I'm
it's
saying.
crazy.
Bro been
yeah.
doing this for a long time and never seen his face unless you like Google.
That's real.
You know, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's ways to do it, but you have
Yeah.
to figure out how you want to put your message out. Are you gifted as a writer? Because you may not be able to speak it, but you may be able to write it. So then you can
Articulate.
do a blog.
That's
You
beautiful,
see what I'm
yeah.
saying? You can do that type of stuff. So there's so many different ways that you can go about doing it, but understanding what your gift is. Do you rather speak? Do you rather write?
Yeah.
You know, are you not a person that communicates in a traditional form of writing or speaking, but you may communicate through art? So that's paint. You know what I'm saying? Painting. That may be music. You know, so your artistry may be in the music realm. All of those different things. So understanding where you gifted, and then move and then start your platform on what you're gifted at.
That's beautiful, man. Brother King Cam, thank you, man, so much for your time.
Yes, sir.
Before, man, we bounce. Where do you see yourself, your platform, everything within the next 5 to 10 years?
Man, we just looking to try to impact millions of people,
Yeah.
you know, in the space of entrepreneurship, really digital real estate,
Yeah.
as well as self-improvement, you know, because that's always a big thing.
Yeah.
It's something that's constant,
Right.
not only in our community, but with humanity as a whole. So, you know, that's the goal that we ultimately pushing. So, you know, looking to cultivate as many new entrepreneurs as possible in this upcoming year, 2022.
Right.
We learned a lot in 2021, learned a lot in 2020 with the pandemic, the importance of multiple streams of income, understanding how to get your business online is really the next wave of things to come because of the different changes that are happening nationally, globally, things of that nature. Yeah. Really getting into crypto, you know, really understanding, you know, Ethereum and blockchains, and now getting into the metaverse and how you can, you know, be able to make that lucrative for yourself.
New digital real estate.
Yeah, that new digital real estate. So you got to be tapped in with that. So it's just it's a year about learning, educating, and then also, you know, cultivating, you know, systems for the business. You know, growing and expanding, always networking to create and build that team. Because again, you can only grow so far by yourself. Yeah. So being able to grow and cultivate that team is something important. One of the goals for 2022 for myself and for the podcast and for the brand. And just continuing to work.
Man, Brother Kim, I just want to say, man, from the bottom of my heart, the team, man, we appreciate you so much, all the work that you do. Where can everybody follow you, keep up with your work, all the good stuff as well?
Yes, sir. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Brother King Cam. Facebook is just King Cam, so that's KINGCAM. KINGCAM. But Brother King Cam on any other platform. And the podcast is a campaign TV show. That's a weekly podcast, and that's on all streaming platforms, iTunes, Spotify, you know, all of that good stuff. So you're able to tap in there. And man, I'm just thankful. Thankful for you and invite me on the show,
anytime, brother. Always welcome, bro. Always welcome, man. Y'all heard him, follow him, show him love, man. That is another classic. Again, blessed be your host, Caleb Smith. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to Trent, Sid for the setup, everything, man. And also, we appreciate y'all so much. Share this content as well. Keep grinding, your dreams that will come true. Peace.